Hi everybody, happy Monday. Today we are starting off our memoir challenge with the prompt of childhood best friend. I've got a couple submissions here. We're just going to read through them. Just a reminder, I don't need it to be typed up. I will take handwritten submissions. If you're unable to write down a submission and you want to tell your story, call the front desk and I'll send somebody up with a camera, or I'll go up myself and film you at the doorway. We'll do what we can to gather these stories. I promise I'm not picky. All right, so the first one we have today, this is from Miss Joanne Engel. She wrote a beautiful handwritten memoir. It's kind of like a mini bio, so I'm going to start with just reading. We're going to read the first 2 pages because it talks a lot about her relationship with her father, which to me sounds like a best friend relationship. So let's dive right in. I was an only child of Pat and Ann Kester. My father was married and had a family before he met my mother. He had a wife and 2 boys. He lost his wife to complications from gallbladder surgery and lost his 2 sons, ages 1 and 2 years old, to spinal meningitis. He met and married my mother and did not want any more children. My mother and father dropped out of school. My father worked on an assembly line making cars. He met an older man who was a home builder and gave him a job. He liked that kind of work and eventually started his own business. My mother became pregnant and I was the apple of my father's eye. My mother became his secretary and tended the phone. She also did the books and worked from home. Every night he would dance and sing for me. I liked to sing and dance and roller skate. I also was a bit of a tomboy and climbed trees and skipped stones in the river. I had a pug dog named Pudgy. He was a great companion for me. My father had a truck and backhoes for digging, and also I used a hammer to help him with the houses. During the war, my mother worked rewiring planes for Curtiss-Wright and would work nights. My father would take me to the movies and play games with me. My father liked cars and taught me how to drive. When I was a senior in high school, he asked my mother what I wanted for my birthday. So my mother asked, and I said a new car would be nice. So my father and I went looking at cars, and I picked out a Ford Victoria, orange and white, with white leather seats. I love that. Thank you, Joanne, for that submission. We're going to read more of Joanne's story a little bit every week, or every day this week, because, like I said, she sent a pretty big submission. All right, our next submission is from one of our own. This is from Miss Emily, part of Life Enrichment Team. I met Jessica on my first day of kindergarten. I don't remember our first conversation, but I know we became best friends immediately. Pretty soon we were spending almost every day together, and once our moms became best friends, we saw each other more. We also befriended a boy named Peter, whose mom befriended ours as well. Peter became my kindergarten boyfriend, and Jess was my bridesmaid in our playground wedding, after I chased him around for an hour until we both went down the slide. Jess, my sister Jill, and I were all flower girls in Peter's mom's wedding. When he changed schools the next years, we lost touch, but his mom and Jess's still hung out, so they stayed close. Jess and I did pretty much everything together. We loved playing with Barbies, Mycene dolls, and Bratz. We once started a game with a plot so intricate it lasted for 3 years. We were dedicated, and we were probably watching too many soap operas with our moms. Jess had a big backyard, and we loved our big adventures. We especially loved having camping trips back there. Wearing our matching cheetah print pajamas, we told scary stories and sang songs we learned from Girl Scouts. We did slip and slides and played on her swing set. We also used her swing set for our last day of first grade. When we found out we weren't going to be in the same class for second grade, we sat on the swings and cried as we listed off all the people in our class. Our friendship definitely didn't stop there, and neither did our love for being dramatic. One year, we got matching leotards and Santa hats and did a whole routine in her living room to the song Santa Baby. With my sister, we formed a group called Dame Popular and Whack-A-Moles. The name came from my sister's mispronunciation of popular and mine of guacamole. Whack-A-Moles, okay. Jess and I wrote a lot of songs together, and when my sister didn't contribute, we broke off to form our own band called Sprouse Girls. That's the name came from our love of the Sprouse twins, famous children actors, our elementary school heartthrobs. When my sister agreed to put more work into music making, we did a big reunion concert in my aunt's backyard for all of her daycare kids. I'm pretty sure that was the last thing we did as a band. In middle school, we didn't see each other as much, but we didn't stop being friends. We both loved the Twilight books, as did two of our other friends, so we created matching theme outfits for school for some special event. Always a fan of group names, our clique of 4 called ourselves GLAM, an acronym for our middle initials. We had a lot of sleepovers and went to school dances together. In high school, we saw even less of each other, having exactly 0 classes in common. But once I was out of college and moved back home, Jess and I were able to spend more time together again. We'd get together every week and watch the show Riverdale, starring one of the aforementioned Sprouse twins we still love dearly. We'd go on long drives in the middle of the night, sometimes out to our favorite diner, or we would just go to the local park and sit on swings. Once I told her I was having bad cramps, and the next day she surprised me with a basket filled with chocolate and ibuprofen with the sweetest card. She's always been really thoughtful like that. Even though I live far away now, we still talk pretty regularly, and I still consider her one of my best friends. We've gone through a lot together. She was one of the first people to reach out to me when my cousin died, and I sent her a care package when her grandfather passed. We've had our ups and downs as friends, but I know I can rely on her to always be honest, thoughtful, and understanding. I know she thinks of me the same way. She's even asked me to be a bridesmaid in her wedding next year, when she marries Peter. Oh, they've been dating since high school, going on 10 years now, and just got engaged this month. This time there will be no chasing, but I'll still be there. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Oh, that was so, oh, and there's pictures. Okay, look, they added pictures. How sweet. Oh, so cute. And here's on the first day of school. How sweet is that? And a group of the girls. And I think the last one, all dressed up, going to a dance. Wonderful. Well, thank you, Emily, for that submission. So cute. All right. This one I got from our lovely, wonderful Miss Betty Lebsock, who, heads up everybody, her birthday is coming up this week. And it's a big birthday. So make sure you tell her happy birthday. I think it's the day after tomorrow. Okay. To Cece. My childhood best friend was Joyce. She lived 3 doors from me in a friendly neighborhood. When it was time for her to start kindergarten, I wasn't old enough to go, so my mother went to the school and talked them into letting me start early so I could be with Joyce. We did everything together. P.S. I do not have a computer. Betty, you don't need a computer. This is perfect. That's so cute that you started kindergarten early to be with your best friend. I really like that. I also love supportive mothers who go in and fight for their kids. All right, last one. You guys can guess who this one is. My childhood best friend's name was Kevin. We lived in an apartment complex in South Korea off of Osan Air Force Base. Family housing was actually off base because at the time, base wasn't set up to house anything more than single airmen. I lived on the first floor, Kevin lived on 3rd. No elevators. We kept our bikes underneath the stairs in the foyer, and we were free to ride them anywhere within the village, quotes village. Our favorite place to ride was the dump, where we would gather supplies to build spectacular forts. Looking back now, I feel really awful for doing this. The Air Force Village was a gated community, and the Ajimas, grandmothers, who worked there had to keep it clean. We would be so disappointed in the mornings that our forts were taken down. Another activity we did was explore. We loved exploring. We explored the crawl spaces under other apartment buildings. We explored the guard station at the gate. We climbed trees, picked crab apples, ate them, and made potions. One day, the entire village got a shipment of washers and dryers. They would take weeks to install, and there was nowhere to store them except the parking lot. Rows and rows of appliances covered with large tarps looked like an incredible, adventurous maze to us. We raced through the rows and hid from the armed guards. Yes, armed guards, protecting the washers and dryers. We hid our treasures in the basins of the dryers and pulled at the mysterious tubes and cords attached. During the fall, we would get so excited because the Ajimas would rake up all the leaves and leave them in large black trash bags for someone to take to the dump. We would race to collect as many bags as possible so we could dump them all out and create the biggest pile of leaves you've ever seen. We'd jump in over and over until we got hungry. We always had snacks at Kevin's house. He had a Korean maid who spoke no English but made us delicious salty roasted seaweed and rice. Sometimes I wonder if she was one of the Ajimas who raked the leaves and took down our forts. My family left South Korea in 1999, and I cried a lot about leaving my best friend Kevin. I haven't seen him since that time, but follow him on Facebook. He's in a band now, opened for a Hoobastank at one point. I wonder if his memories are similar or if he's forgotten our adventures. 20 years is a long time, but you don't forget your childhood best friend. And that's it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully this has inspired you to take a minute and reflect and maybe write down some of your thoughts and some of your stories. This is a great exercise for all of us to kind of sit and reflect. Especially right now, it's nice and rainy. It's a perfect time to reflect and write. So hopefully I'll get more submissions tomorrow. Tomorrow's theme or prompt is places of significance. Write about any place that is significant to you, whether it be significant in a positive way or a negative way. And like I said, I will take handwritten notes. It doesn't have to be typed. But anyway, thank you for spending a few minutes with me reflecting and listening to some stories, and hopefully we'll have more tomorrow. Bye.